Good morning and happy Thursday. We are on day 7 of the organization challenge and sorry, the dog is right here. But anyway, so before we get started, I'll introduce myself real quick so we can kind of get into it. I'm running about 5 minutes late, which I apologize for, but I was in the middle of writing out some clues because the girls want to do a scavenger hunt. And so I was working on that and lost track of time. So anyway, my name is Brooke Cribbs and I have the blog Cribbs Style where I help you tackle the chaos of life one organizing and DIY challenge at a time. And today we're going to talk about the refrigerator. Now, the refrigerator, obviously, just like people, come in all shapes and sizes. And my favorite has always been the one with the bottom freezer. Mainly because we're in the fridge more than we're in the freezer. I do keep a lot of stuff in my freezer. So I wanted access to be more on the top than in the bottom. We've had side-by-sides. Personally, they're not my favorites, but you can still organize efficiently in those. Let me turn this a little bit more. With containment, you have to get a little bit more creative with your spaces, but I don't want that to fall off. Whoops, as it did just then. Whoopsies. Real life, people. Okay, so like I said, let me get back on track here. Like I said, it doesn't matter what kind of fridge you have, you can organize them in various ways. And so again, when we talk about any kind of space, especially when we're going to have more than one person using that space, it's all about access and where you have things in those spaces. Again, with having my kids home, I want to make sure they know they can go into the fridge and help themselves out, but I also want them to know what's appropriate for them to eat when I'm not around, and then making sure they don't get into anything that I need to make dinner. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to have to go fast because I don't want things to get bad. Not that it's going to get bad too fast, but okay. The other thing is I need to go to the grocery store. So I'll show you as best I can. I always recommend that when you're going to go to the grocery store, you do a real quick clean and inventory of your fridge and your pantry before you go. What better way to know what you need than to go through the stuff that you have. It also gives you a chance to clean out the stuff that's in your fridge that is taking up space, so that when you get home from the grocery store, the last thing you want to do is have to clean out your refrigerator and you're waiting just to get things in. And if you're like me, you hate touching the stuff more than you have to. So it's better just to do it before you go to the grocery store. So when we break up our refrigerator, we like to do beverages up at the top, and typically it's adult beverages, like the alcohol. The girls don't need to have direct access to that, so we keep it up at the top. We also are a family that we primarily only drink water, so we don't keep a lot of juices and things like that in our refrigerator. That's why we also picked a refrigerator that had the water spout and the ice maker, because we do go through a lot of water in our house. But if we do have any kind of fun juice drinks for the girls, I do have them a little bit lower. At the top, I also like to keep the stuff that I need for dinners, so that, again, access, it doesn't need to be in the girls' way, as well as any extras. So I keep, I don't know if you can see this, I keep the almond milk in the door. We don't drink regular milk in here. We have somebody with a lactose issue. So I keep the extra in the fridge as well. The other thing is making sure that you don't have things get lost in your refrigerator. So dinner stuff up here, any leftovers I keep in the middle shelf, and then things like, some spreads or things I may need, salsa, we keep that there. And then this bottom shelf is for the girls. That's where they have their snacks, so that they know that those are appropriate. They don't have to ask. They can get them. And this one we have like carrots and hummus, and this one we have like the Jell-O and cheese sticks and the little yogurt drinks, as well as the little fruits in these containers. I'm afraid this thing's gonna fall over. Oops, it's still gonna fall over. Sorry, my tripod is fighting with me. All right, so kind of hard to see because it's fogging up. In these containers, this is where I put all the, sometimes the veggies, but mostly just fruits, like the blueberries and the grapes and things like that. So when I get home, I wash them, stick them in here. And this thing is nice because it tells me on here, based on what I have, as to whether or not I need to vent it or not, or if I need to add any water. So these just happen to be blueberries. You can't see them because it's fogging up. And then these happen to be grapes. While we have the door open, again, the little bottles of alcohol, we've had these forever, actually. Keep them up here so they're out of the reach of the little ones, and then the mixers that keep up there as well. We also keep our aloe in our fridge because we like it cold. Us being down here in South Carolina, we're in the sun a lot. We try not to get burnt, but sometimes it happens, and so we keep our aloe vera in the refrigerator. It's also where we keep the condiments, and again, we just we keep it very minimal. We don't use a lot of stuff, but the door is where we keep it. And then in this bottom drawer, this is where we keep all the cheese and things like that. Now, I don't keep a lot of stuff in the drawers. Sometimes I'll use the drawers for extra storage because I do have these handy little containers. I don't buy a lot of bulk stuff. And then this other door, I'm gonna try and turn this and not lose you all. It's just the extra stuff, the smaller little condiments, and then the stuff that we use periodically. And then again, access, if the girls wanna make themselves a sandwich, they have access to the jelly, and they have access to butter for their toast, and then their almond milk. So this is all about access and the levels of what I want them to be able to get into. To take it a step further with the containers, and I'm trying not to lose you guys and not like have this fall over. Okay, so these containers I got from Home Goods. You can get them from Target, you can get them from Bed Bath & Beyond. And I got the ones that say specifically for refrigerators. I'm pretty sure you can use anything, but I'm guessing that the plastic probably will hold better with the temperature. When you keep things contained, it keeps it from like losing things throughout the refrigerator. Like I said, the girls know that this one is their snacks and that they can get anything out of here. If you want to take it a step further and you want to teach your kids how to pack their own lunches, you could get a couple of these, put a couple different things in it, whether it was like a protein, a vegetable, or a fruit, and then number them 1, 2, 3, and tell them they have to take one out of number 1, one out of number 2, one out of number 3 if they're going to pack their lunch or their snack. So that way it kind of gets them into knowing and understanding, you know, what's a healthy choice, what's a good choice, what they're allowed to have in their lunches. And then again, because it's contained, it's in the containers, I can see what's in there. So that makes it a lot easier. Now we're gonna go down to the freezer, and I'm just gonna pick you up. And now our freezer, like I said, is that bottom, the bottom drawer. I do like it. This particular model, I wish it came out a little bit more. One tip that I had when the girls were little is, and we just recently switched this to just ice. We used to keep their hairbrushes in the freezer in a plastic bag because lice in South Carolina and in the southern states, for whatever reason, runs rampant. And one of the things we learned from Lice Beware was they don't like cold. So we did our preventative measures, and we also put the brushes, and they've lived in our freezer for the past, I don't know, 6 years. But we are changing that now. I'm taking it back because we go through a lot of ice, and I want to be able to cycle it through. That's what that little bin is for in your freezer. Who knew? With the drawer system, I like it because just like with the refrigerator, it allows me to segment out what I want the girls to have access to. Their breakfast stuff is in here, some lunch stuff is in here that they know that they can use. Of course, ice packs if it's kind of hard to see, ice packs if they should get hurt, or even ice packs for their lunches or snacks for school. And then if we want to make a smoothie, their breakfast stuff in it. So their breakfast stuff, their lunch stuff, things that are appropriate for them. And then down here are all of the dinner items. And I do have everything, have it all segmented out to where we have a lot of veggie burgers. We have some shrimp, and then we get into the meats. And then this is like overflow for the meat, but then the vegetables are over here as well. And they are divided by groups. So, oops. It's hard to do this one-handed and get everything back in. All right, so basically, just like with anything else, just like with the pantry, you want to make sure you divide it up into zones. Containers are going to be your friend. They're going to help keep things together. It's also going to be a way that maybe you can label on their snacks, so that if your kids want to get a snack, they don't have to come hound you. They know that they can get one themselves, but tell them the rule. You know, you have to make sure that you get one from this bin or whatever the case may be. So just another way to kind of help them learn their independence and know what's acceptable to eat in the refrigerator, and that way nobody gets into something that you set aside for dinner. I made the mistake once when I was little. My mom had bought mozzarella cheese, shredded mozzarella cheese. It's like one of my absolute favorite cheeses, and I saw it in the fridge and thought it was free game. Pretty much ate the whole bag of cheese before she realized it, and then when she went to go make lasagna, we had no mozzarella cheese. So it's good to let people know what they're allowed to have, and by putting the containers in the refrigerator, it gives you a chance to tell people. So does anybody have any questions? Because if not, I'm gonna get these girls going on their scavenger hunt, and then we are going to have a wonderful day, and I hope you have a wonderful day as well. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye.